Well, it's Tom Padula from TomPadulaTV on YouTube and Insegna Booksellers. And today is Friday, the 5th of January 2024. Time goes very, very fast. And tomorrow will be La Befana. Tonight she'll come around. And the Christmas period is coming to an end. So, but I thought, well, I'll fit in another one of the canti from Dante Alighieri's Paradiso. And this is canto number 10, and it's actually program 88. So, my usual 5 minutes introduction, and then I'll start. The thing about Paradiso is quite interesting because we're talking about the theology. We're talking about a place that Dante and none of us has actually seen before. So we're talking about the world that exists in the universe, in the spiritual world, because is it a physical thing, Paradiso, or is it really just one of those concoctions of Dante to explain the nature of God? God exists, and how did he exist, and how come he did what he did? So, well, God the Father actually didn't do it all himself. He also had the help of his Son and of the Holy Spirit. So the 3-in-1. So 3-in-1. It's an interesting concept as well. Some people, one of the religions doesn't believe in it, but and the others don't know anything about it. So, but during the Middle Ages, this was doctrine. This was what people were supposed to do, to follow, in order to enter eventually the benediction of God by him allowing us, each one of us, the possibility of going to Paradiso. Now, Dante has to continue over 100 canti with Inferno, Purgatorio, Paradiso. So it's, this is my second year, almost third year that I'm on it as well. But each canto gives me something really, really interesting, because in this particular case, we're talking about theology, and we're talking about, in this particular canto, someone I've always admired, but I've never really looked into him, St. Thomas Aquinas. I'm Thomas, of course, and he was responsible for a lot of, clarifying, codifying the religious theology of Christianity. He had a very big influence. Of course, the other Tommaso, the one that was close to Jesus Christ, he was the doubter. But this one here, Tommaso d'Aquino, is regarded as one of the greats of Christian of the Christian intelligentsia. He, together with other ones as well, and in this particular case here, we're talking about two people. We're talking about San Domenico di Guzman and also San Tommaso d'Aquino. San Tommaso d'Aquino belonged to the San Domenico side, whereas gli ordini dei frati, the ones that followed St. Francis of Assisi, was like the opposition to San Domenico. But the two of them together actually work very well together in Paradiso. So they don't have that jealousy, if you like, amongst themselves, as some of the members obviously had during their lifetime. So the two orders, San Francesco of Assisi and the San Francis ones and the San Domenico ones work together in Paradiso, but they seem to be very different on earth. So that's that. It's I also have decided to continue with introducing some of the other great literary figures of Italian literature. In this case today, I'm going to go on to Giacomo Leopardi, and I will also give you one of my poems. And finally, we will have 3 more songs, then from Choral Improviso number 14. So that's the program for today. I hope you enjoy it, and if I make some mistakes, it's understandable, because I've only read it. I've read this recently just to prepare, but you can't get it all inside you. You need to be very aware of when Dante wrote it and in which period of history and in which location he was in. So here we go. Canto Decimo. Okay, so we're going to start with the analysis, and we're talking about, it's a different section of the sky this time. Without knowing, Beatrice takes Dante, lifts Dante into the cielo del sole, the influence of the sun, and the sun being the exceptional light, la sapienza terrena. The light is so strong that Dante can't really see the souls around that have made a little circle around him and Beatrice, around him, because he's a very privileged human, being able to go into Paradiso, into God's own universe. So here we go. Let's not forget that one of God's great attributes is his providence. Apart from justice, the providence is a good one. It's sort of to do with love. So Dante and Beatrice next ascend to the sphere of the sun, which completely surpasses Dante's capacity to describe. Well, he can't. He doesn't. He's overtaken by the sun's rays, by la sapienza divina. Flares of light circle around the two of them, as if in a dance. Stopping one of these lights introduces himself to Dante as Thomas Aquinas, San Tommaso d'Aquino. He identifies the soul next to him as his former teacher, Albert the Great, Alberto Magno. As light has symbolized divine illumination throughout Paradiso, the sun here symbolizes the wisdom of God himself. Oh, so I was wrong. As light has symbolized the divine illumination through Paradiso, light, divine illumination. The sun here symbolizes the wisdom of God himself, and its sphere is accordingly inhabited by some of the church's brightest intellectuals. Although the figures in this sphere are known for having written and taught on theological subjects, in heaven their beauty is beyond the power of words to describe. A good one for Dante not going into it. Suggesting that earthly language can only gesture in a limited way towards God. We don't have the communication skills to actually enter into God's greatness. Aquinas, one of the most significant theologians in the Catholic Church, and one whose theology permeates Dante's thought, orients Dante to his surroundings. Now, Thomas Aquinas and his theology still permeates the Church's doctrine today. It's up to other people. Now, I just want to read this in Italian. L'anima rivela di essere Tommaso d'Aquino, frate dell'ordine di San Domenico, ordine nel quale si guadagna molto in virtù se non si va fuori strada, ed elenca anche i nomi delle altre anime che compongono la corona: Alberto Magno di Colonia, Graziano, Pietro Lombardo, Salomone, tanto sapiente che nessuno lo superò, and still true today, Dionigi, Aeropagita, Paolo Orosio, Severino Boezio, Isidoro, Beda, Riccardo da San Vittore e Sigreri. Detto questo, gli spiriti riprendono la danza e il dolcissimo canto che può udirsi solo in paradiso. There's a little note that I had here in one of the books, and I thought I'd read, because I had listed these people, but of course the ones who studied Dante in detail over a long period of time, they have a better knowledge of the actual details of what is being said in Canto 10. So let's start with Canto 10 of Dante analysis. Okay, I'll say here, this is heaven proper, where the light is so intense that houses within it the brightest of Christian theologians. Beautiful. Anthony Pascuzzi, welcome. Beati della prima corona. This is the first, la prima corona. We are in the sky, nel cielo del sole, because during the Middle Ages, Earth was the center of the universe, and the sun was just a planet around which, which went around the Earth. So the sun, as it moves in a circular way, sometimes gives you the light and sometimes it gives you the darkness, depending on whether you are during the day or at night. Okay, so let's have a look at what actually Dante has to say relating to God himself. Guardando nel suo figlio con l'amore che l'uno e l'altro eternamente ispira, lo primo e ineffabile valore quanto per mente e per loco si gira, con tanto ordine o fe ch'esser non puote senza gustar di lui chi ciò rimira. So we're talking about Dante creation of the universe. So whoever looks at this has to look into amazement how the universe is so well ordered. We know very well that things can happen in the universe, but it's probably all part of God's plan. As I always said, faith is greater than science because it is blind. In other words, you either believe something or you don't. So when you believe, you don't need any explanations. It's like children who follow blindly the parents' directions. If they never sway from that, they will never be independent. So be patient with your children when they challenge you, because it's important for them to slowly rebel against you in order to acquire their own independence. It's a bit, that's the way it is. So have a look at this. This is incredible. Guardando nel suo figlio con l'amore, che l'uno e l'altro eternamente ispira, the three of them together, lo primo ineffabile valore quanto per mente e per loco si gira, cant'ordine fe. So they made together this order of the universe, che esser non puote senza gustar di lui, of God, the three of them, chi ciò rimira, what you're looking at in the universe. Leva dunque lettore, now he digresses, Dante digresses, and talks to us, lettore, that's me. Leva dunque lettore all'alte rote, meco la vista, dritto a quella parte dove l'un moto e l'altro si percuote, e lì comincia a vagheggiare nell'arte di quel maestro che dentro a sé l'ama, tanto che mai da lei l'occhio non parte. So, don't sway, O lettore, or you who reads me, don't sway from this sight of God, because you know, you have to understand the nature of his love, of his providence. Vedi come da Indi si dirama l'obliquo cerchio che i pianeti porta per soddisfare al mondo che li chiama. So here, have a look at the universe, how it goes around and round, and you know, it satisfies all our desires. Che se la strada lor non fosse torta, molta virtù nel cielo sarebbe invano e quasi ogni potenza qua giù morta. In other words, if all, you know, the variety of God's love and providence was not there, the whole place would be dead in a way. So, you know, the movement that we don't understand with our mind is there, but if it wasn't there, we'd be in trouble. That's God's providence. A lot of the times things happen that we can't accept as humans. I was talking to one of my paesani last night, and we were talking about early death, you know, when people die when they're young. How do you explain it? Someone just got married, had a child, bought a house, blah, blah, blah. Well, at once, boom, truncated. How do you explain that in God's providence? There must be some reason of how do you do it. So here we go. Che se la strada loro non fosse torta, molta virtù nel cielo sarebbe invano e quasi ogni potenza è qua già morta. Very important for you to have the Canto Paradiso in front of you in order to follow me. So please, you know, acquire a book. I have a few, but not many people come to me for that. So, you know, whichever way you can get it, online or, you know, an old book about Dante, the ones you used at school, etc., etc. E se, let's go on, e se dal dritto più e meno lontano fosse il partire, assai sarebbe manco e giù e su dell'ordine mondano. Now this one here, I'm not quite sure che l'ordine. So we're talking about here the universe, you know, the movement, the zodiaco and the other one. I pianeti, in cui si muovono i pianeti per soddisfare le esigenze della Terra che ha bisogno di essi. So according to Dante, you know, God put all the other planets because they need each other. Like humans, we need each other. Cioè dal punto equinoziale di primavera, l'obliquo cerchio, lo zodiaco è detto obliquo poiché secondo l'astronomia medievale l'eclittica è inclinata di 23 gradi e mezzo dall'equatore. That's where your study of Dante comes in. Okay, let's go on. Or ti rimane lettor, again, I've explained how the planets work. Now let's go on. Or ti rimane sopra il tuo banco, was on your desk, dietro pensando a ciò che si preliba, se esser vuoi lieto assai prima che stanco. So, or ti rimane. Here he's talking about that if the actual universe just moves slightly one way or another, it will cause problems on Earth. That's what he's talking about. Okay, so understand this. Messo to dinanzi, omai per te ti ciba, che a sé torce tutta la mia cura, quella materia un Dio son fatto scriba. So I'm writing about this and I'm putting it in front of you. Lo ministro maggior della natura, che del valor del cielo lo mondo imprenta, e col suo lume il tempo ne misura, con quella parte che su si rammenta congiunto. Si girava per le spire, in che piuttosto ognora s'appresenta. E io era con lui, ma del salire non m'accors'io, se non come uomo s'accorge, anzi è il primo pensiero del suo venire. So as he moved up towards this sfera del cielo, the part of the sun, the light was so intense that he wasn't even aware of the spirits around him, nor he could see them, and unbeknown to him, he was brought into il cielo del sole. Okay, so this is a long explanation by Dante about the nature of God and the universe and his creation, the universe, and the actual order that exists in the universe thanks to him. And then he says, Lettore, take note of what I say, because because we are moving now towards an area of Paradiso. This is the actual Paradiso, where humans cannot access. This is pure, in the realm of pure theology. This is God's own kingdom, where he's surrounded as good governors, people who govern have to do. They have to surround themselves by the best and the brightest in order to pursue a good management of their government. And God's government is all of us and the universe. E io ero con lui, ma del salire non m'accors'io, non come uomo s'accorge, anzi è il primo pensiero del suo venire. E Beatrice, quella che si scorge di bene in meglio, sì subitamente che l'atto suo per tempo non si sporge. Quant'esser convenia da sé lucente quel che era dentro al sol dov'io entrami, non per color ma per l'umo parvente. So Beatrice was around, but he couldn't even see her, lost control of his mind. That's what happens. You lose control of your mind once you're in Paradiso, because your focus has to be God's great providence and love. That's the idea. Perché io lo ingegno e l'arte l'uso chiami, si non direi che mai si immaginasse, ma credere puossi e di veder si brami. And I wanted to see, but I couldn't, but slowly, of course, you'll get used to it. That's done. Don't forget, you've got to continue right to the end. Whereas the other souls in Paradiso, including Beatrice, like Virgilio, once she's done her job, she is out of the way. And Dante will be able to see the nearest part of God's kingdom around him. And by the time he gets there, God says, well, that's enough. Get back to where you belong. And then if you want and be good, come back to me the usual way. There you are. Perch'io lo ingegno e l'arte l'uso chiami, si non direi che mai si immaginassi, ma creder puossi e di vedersi brami. E se le fantasie nostre son basse a tanta altezza, non è maraviglia. So don't be worried about le fantasie nostre, whatever we do. Son basse, they are lower than this great height of God's kingdom. You can't get there, but don't worry about it. That's the way it's supposed to be. Tale era quivi la quarta famiglia dell'Alto Padre, che sempre la sazia mostrando come spira e come figlia. Così luminosa era la quarta schiera di Dio Padre, Alto Padre, il quale ne appaga sempre i desideri, rivelando come generi il figlio e figlia e come da entrambi precede lo Spirito Santo. So we're talking about, la Sacra Famiglia. E Beatrice cominciò. And so we're now going to leave this generic introduction and we're going to get to the details. cominciò, ringrazia il sol degli angeli, che a questo sensibil t'ha levato per sua grazia. Thank goodness, thank the angels that have raised you to this level. Don't feel anything else but gratitude. And isn't that one of the most beautiful of virtues that we have? To be grateful to the people around us and to whatever God has given us, for good or bad. Gratitude. Recognize in whatever happens the hand of the Almighty. Cor di mortal non fui mai sì digesto a divozione e a rendersi a Dio con tutto il suo gradir cotanto presto, come a quelle parole mi fec'io. E sì tutto l'amore in lui si mise che Beatrice Crissone l'obblia. I was so... He went into it. He was so grateful for being able to be where he was, that Beatrice si eclissò. She disappeared from my mind. That's incredible. Non le dispiacque, but Beatrice didn't, she didn't mind at all. Ma si se ne rise, and she laughed at it. She said, oh, well, Dante's supposed to be doing what he's supposed to do. So she, you know, as a good guide, she's, oh, well, you know, he's enjoying himself, let him. Che lo splendor degli occhi suoi ridenti, mia mente unita in più cose divise. Look, that's, che lo splendor degli occhi suoi ridenti, her eyes, smiling. And here, I think he can see her now. Io vidi più folgor vivi e vincenti far di noi centro e di sé far corona, più dolci in voce che in vista lucenti. Così cingere la figlia di Latona, vedem talvolta, quando l'are è pregno, sì che ritenga il fil che fa la zona. So, io vidi più folgor, so he sees around him this circle of spiritual intelligentsia. The high theologians of Christianity. As spirits, you can't see them, but they're there, and they form una corona, a crown, like this one here. And Dante's in the middle. Beautiful. Nella corte del cielo, ond'io rivegno, si trovano molte gioie care e belle, tanto che non si possono trarre del regno. There are so many beautiful things there that you can't take them out of that kingdom. That wouldn't mean anything. You just can't do it. E il canto di quei lumi era di quelle, and the singing of those 12, you know, that corona of people, of souls. They were singing to such, you know, when you got to the opera and they, oh, you know, but this was a religious canto, but in Paradiso they can play opera if they want to, and one of these songs that really moves the whole audience. Amazing. Il canto, che non si impenna sicché lassù voli, dal muto aspetto quindi le novelle. Dal muto aspetto, I think, si impenna sicché, so he was there, he couldn't see them, he could hear them, he could feel them around him, but let's have a... Ma poi sì cantando quegli ardenti soli, si fuor girarti intorno a noi 3 volte come stelle vicino a fermi poli. So they went around him 3 times while singing, come 3 poli, you know, 3 ardenti poli. Beautiful image. Donne mi parver, non da ballo sciolte, ma che s'arrestin tacite, ascoltando finché le 9 note hanno ricolte. So they sang along, and they went around, and they were like in a dance. I couldn't see them, but I could, maybe, you know, I started seeing through the light of the sun. But, you know, you can't look at the sun. And when there's an eclipse, that's why they ask you to wear the glasses, because otherwise you'll be blinded. That's what Dante's looking at. E dentro all'un sentì cominciare. And then from within one of those, before we start, with San Tommaso d'Aquino. Cheers. E dentro a lui sentì cominciare, e so he heard from, quando lo raggio della grazia onde s'accende, verace amore e che poi cresce amando, moltiplicato in te tanto risplende che ti conduce su per quella scala, usanza risalir nessun discende. Qual ti negassi il vin della sua fiala, per la tua sete in libertà non fora, se non come acqua calmar non si cala. Beautiful. You know, this passage here, so the soul is saying, quando lo raggio della grazia, so your gratitude, onde s'accende verace amore, where you feel this true love, che poi cresce, and that sort of almost gives you, you know, it goes beyond any expectation, almost as if you're losing your breath. Ti conduce quella scala, so you've been brought up here. And this scala, you know, because the soul knows about the structure of Paradiso. It says, you've come up. No one has ever been allowed to do this, of course, except Jesus Christ. But no one. So you are a very special person. You, Dante, poeta, we welcome you. Don't forget that your need of liberty, of your curiosity, your mission to bring to the rest of humanity the idea of the Creator, the idea of the powers that the Creator then gives to humans and to the Church and to the Emperor. And then he says, do what I say. But then, of course, Adamo came and he didn't. So lack of gratitude. Now, from that time, no one has come up here. I'll read it again. E dentro a lui sentì cominciare, quando lo raggio della grazia, onde s'accende verace amore e che poi cresce amando, moltiplicato in te tanto risplende che ti conduce su per quella scala, usanza risalir nessun discende. Qual ti negassi il vin della sua fiala, per la tua sete, in libertà non fora se non come acqua che al mar non si cala. Tu vuoi sapere, you wanna know, di quai piante si infiora questa ghirlanda che intorno vagheggia la bella donna che al ciel t'avvalora. La bella donna, eh? La bella donna. That's an interesting one. In termini che va intesi in senso si spiega in relazione a ghirlanda. A ghirlanda, 1991. Tu desideri sapere di quali anime si adorni questa corona di spiriti sapienti che contempla amorosamente, circondandola, Beatrice, la bella donna che ti infonda la virtù per salire al cielo. So, if it wasn't for Beatrice, he wouldn't be come up here. So, they circle her and him. Io fui degli agni della santa greggia che domenico mena per cammino, u ben si imbingua se non si vaneggia. So we're talking about San Domenico and the Dominican order, in which if you follow strictly its rulings, then you got no problems at all. But a lot of the seguaci, a lot of the followers became corrupt, and it wasn't very nice because they enjoyed the pleasures of material things. Whereas St. Francis of Assisi, no, he loved poverty. That was his sposa. La sposa di San Francesco è la povertà. Questi che a me destro più vicino, frate e maestro fummi, ed esso Alberto è di Cologna, so Albert the Great from Colonia, e io Thomas d'Aquino. Thomas. Invece di dire Tommaso d'Aquino, è Thomas d'Aquino, all'inglese. Beautiful. Se sì di tutti gli astri essere può certo, di retro al mio parlar te vien col viso girando su per lo beato certo. So in other words, Neo we are the two of us here in front, but there's tutto questo cerchio, and a lot of these people now, he's going to mention every one of those. And there's a history of each one. I haven't got time to actually go into the notes here. Again, I plead with you to get one of these Paradiso books and read it through and look at the notes, ok? Quell'altro fiammeggiare esce dal riso di Graziano, this is Graziano, ok? Che l'uno e l'altro foro aiutò sì che piace in paradiso. So, Graziano, Tommaso dei Conti di Aquino nacque a Roccasecca in terra di lavoro. He was in Monte Cassino, Napoli, Parigi, and this one says, certo, quell'altro lui fiammeggiante, Graziano il quale, il diritto civile, il quale, he was famous for his writings. I said I wasn't going to talk about them. I'm sort of drawn to explaining, but I really don't want to do that. Ok, l'altro che appresso adorna il nostro coro, quel Pietro fu che con la poverella offerse a Santa Chiesa suo tesoro. Again another one. La quinta luce che tra noi più bella spira di tale amor che tutto il mondo laggiù negola di saper novella. Again, entro velaltamente usì profondo saver fu messo che se il vero è vero a veder tanto non surse il secondo. So again, these people who codified Christianity, the laws of Christianity. Appresso vedi il lume di quel cielo che giù in carne più addentro vide l'angelica natura e il ministero. Nell'altra piccioletta luce ride quello avvocato dei tempi cristiani da cui latino Agustin si provvide. St. Augustine picked up from this, whatever this piccioletta luce. In other words, he really shouldn't be with us, but he was, because whatever he did affected other people to write about, to reflect on proper Christian theology. Or se tu l'occhio della mente trani di luce in luce dietro alle mie lode, già dell'ottavo con sete rimani. So there's another one there that you could talk to, but you're not going to, because we're not going to. Per vedere ognuno ben dentro vi gode l'anima santa che il mondo fallace fa il manifesto a chi di lei ben ode. So if you follow l'anima santa, Angio Manlio Torquato Severino Boezio, patrizio romano, nato nel 480, circa fu senatore e console, eccetera, 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 della parte dei romani. Lo corpo della fu cacciata, giace giuso in ciel d'auro, ed essa da martiro e da esilio venne a questa pace. So some of these people here actually suffered martyrdom and they were killed in order to arrive at this peace in paradiso. You don't get the paradiso senza un sacrificio veramente grande. So not only do you have to be good, but people almost have to reject you. In a way, that's what they did to Christ, the Son of God. Because he says, I am the Son of God. Now some people sono la via. But what do people do? They show their ingratitude, not gratitude. So thank you very much, Christ. We're going to crucify you for being good to us. And a lot of these souls around che formano la corona, they form the crown, they went through that sort of martyrdom and punishment. But of course, then God turns around through his providence and says, come on, they were wrong. Come to me, baby. I'll look after you for eternity. Thank you, my Lord. That's it. Vedi oltre fiammeggiare l'ardente spira di Isidoro, di Beda e di Riccardo, che a considerare fu più che viro. There's other people as well. Questi onde a me ritorna il tuo riguardo e il lume d'uno spirito che n'ha pensieri gravi a morir li parve venir tardo. Essa è la luce eterna dei sigieri che leggendo nel vico degli strami si logizzò invidiosi veri. So again, there's another theologian who wrote books and people followed eccetera, eccetera, eccetera. So, questa è la corona degli spiriti sapienti, the crown of the spirits of wisdom. Indi come orologio che ne chiami nell'ora che la sposa di Dio sorge a mattinar lo sposo perché l'ami, che l'una parte e l'altra tira su e urge, tin suonando così dolce nota che il ben disposto spirito d'amor turge. Così vidi Dio la gloriosa rota muoversi a rendere voce a voce in tempra e in dolcezza ch'essa non si può nota se non colà dove gioir sin sembra. Allah sin sembra, from sempre, always. So this is la bella voce, il canto del paradiso, this corona di spiriti che vanno in giro, that go around. What a wonderful, wonderful canto decimo. This is the real paradiso here. There's no, it was all about, thanking God for creating everything, including himself. I'm not allowed to really say that because you can't question the existence of God. Even the greatest of scientists, how can you, when you look at the order of the universe, etc., they call it the black, it comes from the black, la parte, the universe that's black. You can't see the black hole in the universe. Is that where God resided? Who knows? Who knows? Even that belongs to him. So that's Dante for you. That's Middle Ages. That's they had to follow blindly what the Pope said. And the emperor, the only problem with the Pope at the time, the popes at the time, some of them, there were 3 or 4 of them at one, 2 or 3 of them at one stage, one in Avignon, one in Rome, etc. The more to come, because Canto Decimo follows in Canto 11. We got more into the details because Tommaso d'Aquino remains behind. So that's Canto 11 next time I see you. In the meantime, now that's it. 12:54, I'm supposed to, oh yeah, I've got a bit of time, because today I also decided to bring to you the great Leopardi, Giacomo Leopardi. I'm actually going to read to you A Silvia, one of the great poems of Leopardi. Leopardi from I think the 18th century, 1700. When was he born? Oh gosh, can't remember. Sometimes, come on. Oh well, here they don't talk about him as such. They talk about this correspondence at the beginning. I'll have to give you the details of Giacomo Leopardi. I can't remember. I can't remember when he was born. You can look it up, no? Oh well, never mind. The poem that I'm doing is called A Silvia. A Silvia. It's one of the great poems of Giacomo Leopardi. Look what I'm looking at. These are big books that we purchased for my house many years ago, and they come in very handy now to explain Italian literature and pick up some of the details. For example, I found one of these about Francesco Petrarca. I was looking for him, but I couldn't. So I will be reading from Francesco Petrarca's Canzoniere as well, during the Dante Alighieri Paradiso series. This one is called A Silvia. Silvia, rimembri ancora quel tempo della tua vita mortale, quando beltà splendea negli occhi tuoi ridenti e fuggitivi, e tu, lieta e pensosa, il limitare di gioventù salivi. Suonavano le quiete stanze e le vie d'intorno al tuo perpetuo canto. She used to sing and do embroidery at the same time. Allor che all'opera femminile intenta sedevi, assai contenta di quel vago avvenir che in mente avevi. Quel vago avvenir, Marriage, love, eccetera. Era il maggio odoroso e tu solevi così menare il giorno. So that's why you lived. Io agli studi leggiadri talor lasciando e le sudate carte, ove il tempo mio primo e di me si spendea la miglior parte. D'insù i veroni del paterno ostello, porgea gli orecchi al suon della tua voce ed alla man veloce che percorrea la faticosa tela. So whilst he was studying, looking across, could hear il canto, and they could see her working al telaio with the embroidery. Beautiful thoughts. Mirava il ciel sereno, le vie dorate e gli orti, e quindi il mar da lungi e quindi il monte. So nature was at its best. Lingua mortal non dice quel che io sentiva in seno. A language can't explain what I felt in me. Un po' dantesco, no? Che pensieri soavi, che speranze, che cori, o Silvia mia. Quale allora ci apparia la vita umana e il fato? So, la vita umana. Quale allora ci apparia? So we were looking forward to this hopeful future. Quando sovviemmi di cotanta spema, un affetto mi preme, acerbo e sconsolato, e tornami a doler di mia sventura, that something happened. Boom. O natura, perché non rendi poi quel che prometti allora? Why don't you give us what you promised in youth? And I think of the ones who die young. Quante promesse, They live eternally as young people. Perché non rendi poi quel che prometti a loro? Perché di tanto inganni i tuoi figli tuoi? Perché di tanto inganni i figli tuoi? Why do you deceive them? Tu pria che l'erba inaridisse il verno, da chiuso morbo combattuta e vinta, perivi, o tenerella, e non vedevi il fior degli anni tuoi, non ti molceva il cuore la dolce lode, or delle negre chiome, or degli sguardi innamorati e schivi, né teco le compagne ai dì festivi ragionavan d'amore. So, she was, by winter time, I suppose she had probably cancer, some sort of terminal illness, and she died. And she says, il fior degli anni tuoi, you were gone in the middle of these beautiful years when you're supposed to go out and enjoy yourself and dance and talk about love with your friends, etc., etc. Anche peria fra poco la speranza mia dolce, agli anni miei anche negaro i fati la giovinezza. Because Giacomo Leopardi was, he wasn't a well person. He was a disabled person. We don't use the word, but he was a very active intellectual at the same time. So life wasn't easy for Giacomo Leopardi, and in fact he died, I think, around just before he was 40. I'll have to check you can check him up, Giacomo Leopardi, one of the great Italian literary figures. So here we go. Anche peria fra poco la speranza mia dolce, agli anni miei anche negaro i fati la giovinezza. Ahi come passata sei, cara compagna dell'età mia nuova, mia lacrimata speme. He must have fallen in love with that girl. Questo è quel mondo, questi diletti, l'amor, l'opera e gli eventi, onde tanto ragionammo insieme. I used to write about these things. I don't think he actually talked to the girl. I'm not sure. He must have known her. Questa la sorte delle umane genti, all'apparir del vero, tu misera cadesti e con la mano la fredda morte ed una tomba ignuda mostravi di lontano. Gottemi, tu misera cadesti, e con la mano la fredda morte ed una tomba ignuda mostravi di lontano. So that's our Sylvia. Yeah, these poems, they do need some explanations, and I hope you enjoy what I'm doing, because now we're going to go to Tom Padula. Now, I was in London on the 12th of 6th, 2005. My daughter was renting in a place that had been lived by a famous English author. I wrote this, Nell had gone away, and I was left in there, and I said, cercando la gioia, looking for joy. That's what I'm looking at. La gioia nella vita viene dall'amore che tu senti dentro. Se tu ami gli altri, rispetti te stesso, ti preoccupi dell'ambiente, sorridi al futuro, ridi spesso insieme a quelli che ti stanno vicino, affronti il lavoro con piacere e dignità. Lovely summary there. Avrai la gioia schietta se pensi al bene, essendo consapevole dell'esistenza del male. Allora rimarrai ottimista, vorrai contribuire al mondo pur sapendo che il tuo contributo potrebbe sembrare di poca importanza. I'm always worried about, what I write, is it poetry? What is it? And now, so many years later, almost 20 years, it'll be in 2025. It's a long time. Noi umani siamo fatti così, di carne ed ossa, d'un corpo materiale con pretese spirituali ed illusioni di immortalità. Illusioni di immortalità. We illude ourselves of immortality. But if you believe, immortality is there for us, for each one of us. Siamo qui per poco tempo, fin quando la morte arriva e ci porta via. O forse ritorniamo dove già eravamo, o forse sicuramente, non lo so, dove. Nel frattempo voglio sentire la gioia di tutto quello che mi circonda, di chi mi è veramente amico. There was a lovely reflection there about that time. That's in the middle of my, in my mid-years. That's it. I think that's, yeah. It's an interesting poem, that one. Today I haven't read them straight through. I've sort of regarded the poems like Dante. I've decided that I will explain even some of these other ones that are more recent, especially when I get to Francesco Petrarca, Boccaccio. We'll see. There's a lot of good Italian literature, and let's not forget that the Italian, la lingua volgare, it's only 1,000 years. Really, very soon. Not even, if we think of Dante Alighieri being born in 1265, we're about 900 years into the development of Italian language from Dante's time. Of course, it had been developing since the fall of Latin as an international language of the people, the vulgus. And Latin was the basis also for French, Spanish, Portuguese and Romanian, and also all the other European languages, parts of it. Più, chi meno, but Latin always had an influence. Now, you have to be patient with me because I've got to the poem, I've got to get my what do you call it? I have to get my songs, and you know it's not easy because I have to get. Come on, Oh. Get in there. Just be patient. Number one, I think I've got it here. It's fantastic. But if I don't do what I do, I'm going to be disappointed because the computer went dead. So I have to get back to this by going back and yeah, let me do it. Let's see. There and now. Okay. What do I want? How do I? Wait a minute. Okay. No, that's the wrong one. Ah, dear Tom, what are you doing? It's the wrong one. Here, this is the one we want. iCloud. Yes. We've got to thank iCloud for a lot of stuff, really. What a marvelous system. But when it works, because when it doesn't work, when it doesn't work, you're in trouble. Oh well. We're there. Almost there. Another few seconds and we'll be where we're supposed to be. Now, whilst I'm waiting, I just want to say that it's been a good start. We did the songs yesterday with Dora and Reno, and we're up to Cora Liberosa number 17, which is good. And now let's get back to where I said we were going to be. Okay, so here we go. Let me see. Upila. The thing is, it won't go back to where I was. That's the problem. Okay, so now, but I know the month that we did it. Got to be organised here. Yes, here we go. A bit longer than I thought today, but never mind. It is what it is. We're almost there, people. I look forward to this part of the program. Here we are. I think this is the one. Is this the one? Oh, well, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Oh, well, I'll start. I think this is the one. If it's not, I'll be in trouble. Okay, here we go. That's a photo that I take when we first start. Then it goes to here. And another afternoon here with Dora and Reno. It's the 7th of September 2023. And this young man here, it's his
birthday today.
It's his birthday today.
I want to thank you all for listening to this program. If you're all listening there,
Yes,
when the time comes, you can all see me in there and see what it means.
And when the reels come on, you only see him.
And just see what it means to be happy and have a birthday, you know,
That's
for yourself.
And sing, and with your mum playing.
And with mum still going good, yeah.
Would you believe I taught him? He was in my class when I taught at Headfield High School. For his birthday.
Thank you, Tom.
21 again?
Yeah, 21.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, era noi tempi, no?
Ancora mangiare qua, not più.
Here we are. We're going to start with the first song, and it's a song that Dora doesn't do it on the mandolino, but this is choral improvisation number 14, numero 14. Yeah? So we've got 12 songs coming up in the next 2 sessions, and we're going to do the first 6 now, and we're going to start with Chi non lavora non fa l'amore, but we are concentrating on the actual words, the lyrics, because this is a song by Adriano Celentano, and of course we can't do it the way he does it, so we're going to do the lyrics because they are important. Chi non lavora non fa l'amore. He who does not work does not make love at home. That's it.
I'm not even outside.
It's a problem.
It's like a death trap, mate.
That's it. Chi non lavora non fa l'amore. Chi non lavora non fa l'amore. Questo mi ha detto ieri mia moglie. Questo mi ha detto ieri mia moglie. A casa stanco ieri ritornai. Mi sono seduto, niente c'era in tavola, arrabbiata lei mi grida che ho scioperato 2 giorni su 3, con i soldi che le do non ce la fa più ed ha deciso che lei fa lo sciopero contro di me. Chi non lavora non fa l'amore, questo mi ha detto ieri mia moglie. Allora andai a lavorare mentre erano tutti a scioperare e un grosso pugno in faccia mi arrivò. Andai a piedi alla guardia medica, c'era lo sciopero anche dei tramvai. Arrivo lì, ma il dottore non c'è, è in sciopero anche lui. Che gioco è? Ma come finirà? C'è il caos nella città. Non so più cosa fare, se non sciopero mi picchiano, se sciopero mia moglie dice chi non lavora non fa amore, dammi lamento, signor padrone, così vedrai che in casa tua e in ogni casa entra l'amore, così vedrai che in casa tua e in ogni casa entra l'amore. Wow. Oh, well, I hope you enjoyed that one. The next one is one that we know.
Beautiful.
This is the second song, but it's one that very familiar here with Reno and Dora too, on the mandolino. It's called Non illuderti mai, ok? Di Orietta Berti, quindi Orietta Berti, grazie per queste belle canzoni che hai interpretato. Anche per noi, speriamo che
Noi
oggi
cerchiamo di farli
possiamo trovare
andare avanti.
il segreto.
Ecco.
divertiamoci. Ok.
Vai.
Non illuderti mai. Rina.
Amore senza amore, amore senza vita, amore tu non hai pietà di me.
eppure ti ho inventato con tanta fantasia, con tutta la tristezza che c'è in me, e tu cambi bandiera. Ma tu che cosa credi? Che il mondo sia di pietra, la tua formaggio il sasso se ne va. Ma non conosci il pianto di quella che vuol bene, di una che vuol bene come me. E tu cambi bandiera, non illuderti mai, 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 non illuderti mai, 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 non illuderti mai, 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 non illuderti mai, 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 mai. Amore, tu non hai pietà di me, amore, tu non hai pietà di me, perché cambi bandiera, ma tu che cosa credi? Che il mondo sia di pietra?
Tom, it's better.
Sbagliato.
Okay, we'll do it again, I think. No, they're not happy. Let's get to the next bit. Non illuderti mai, type 2. No, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's go. Rina?
Vai. Amore senza amore, amore senza vita, amore tu non hai pietà di me.
Eppure ti ho inventato con tanta fantasia, con tutta la tristezza che c'è in me. E tu cambi bandiera, ma tu che cosa credi? Che il mondo sia di pietra, la goccia bacia il sacco se ne va. Ma non conosci il pianto di quello che vuol bene, di una che vuol bene come me. E tu cambi bandiera, non illuderti mai, 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 non illuderti mai, 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 non illuderti mai, 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 non illuderti mai, 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 mai. Amore, tu non hai pietà di me, amore, tu non hai pietà di me, perché cambi bandiera? Ma tu che cosa credi? Che il mondo sia di pietra, la goccia baci il sasso se ne va. Ma non conosci il pianto di quello che vuol bene, di una che vuol bene come me. E tu cambi bandiera, non illuderti mai, 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 non illuderti mai, 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 non illuderti mai, 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 non illuderti mai, 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 mai. We come to the last one. There's another challenging one. This next song is called Arturo, and I tried to find the original singer. I can't remember who he was. He was a comedian, a very important musical talent and also theatrical talent in Italy. I cannot remember his name, but the song is Arturo, and it's nowhere to be seen online. So I'm going to do it because I put it in the program, and yeah, and I love the words. So let's go. Okay. Let's go. Arturo, grassottello, fresco e bello, come un grappolo maturo. Arturo, educato, riservato, lui si serve sempre puro. Arturo, lui è sempre puro e casto, lui non tocca mai quel tasto, lui non vede se le donne han più corte ogni or le gonne. Lui non sente al suo passare ogni donna a canticchiare. Arturo, tesoruccio di mamma, Arturo, tu sei tutta castità, un uomo certo non sei tu, ma un fiorellino di virtù. Arturo, per le vene scorre in te, Arturo, forse il latte o il caffè, sappi un poco dimostrare che cosa tu sai fare. Verginello come agnello, resta celibe sicuro Arturo, ma se sposa con la sposa non ci resta, no, all'oscuro Arturo. con Arturo non attacca, non vuol togliersi la giacca, e la sposa disperata, tutta ansante e trafelata, non sapente più che far, finirà col canto in chiaro. Arturo, tesoruccio di mamma, Arturo, tu sei tutto castità, un uomo certo non sei tu, ma un fiorellino di virtù. Arturo, per le vene scorre in te. Arturo, forse il latte o il caffè, de sappi un poco dimostrare che cosa tu sai fare. Wow. Let me see. Where am I? The next one. Wait a minute. That's me. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I think we've come to the end of it. I thought normally I also have a bit of a chat to. Oh, I see. Oh, well, I'll have to check it out next time. Arturo. Oh, well, that's it. It's 1:22. Time to go. It's been a good morning for me, because I wanted to do number 10, Canto 10 of Paradiso by Dante Alighieri. And as I said, I'll come on whenever I can. And please follow, because I've neglected the Paradiso and I want to catch up now. I've got a bit of time before the onslaught of the classes come on, and yes, I'm a bit more comfortable with the work that I do online, and I hope that the people who follow me enjoy my work, and make comments, tell me, communicate with me, but generally I just do my own thing and I don't worry about anything else. Okay, so on that note, thank you very much for coming on, now or later. This is Tom Padula from TomPadulaTV on YouTube and Insegna Booksellers. Till next time, ciao.